previously, you didn't say how we met. We were in Bentonville, Arkansas, and Jordan was an accountant at Walmart. And if you want to see a perfect case study of how loving what you do changes your personality and how you attack it, Jordan wasn't all that happy. And now he's here at 9 a.m. It's rainy. He's like, how you guys doing today? Get some coffee. We're all here. Loving entrepreneurship. So love what you do. Case in point. So yeah, I'm from Northwest Arkansas. And fun fact, I actually didn't realize how kind of obnoxious people from Northwest Arkansas were until I moved down here. And the Central Arkansas people, they were telling me stories, and yeah. Anyway, so I'm sorry for any past sins against you guys, but I love it here. I love this environment that you all have cultivated. So Fairshare is my third company. I have a clothing apparel company, and then I also have a donut shop in Lowell, Arkansas, and that's kind of where the genesis of Fairshare started. Because if you don't know, the donut business can be really competitive. And in Northwest Arkansas, my main competitor is Shipley's Donuts. I don't know if you have any Shipley's here. So I own a Daylight Donuts. So I know that I have the better donuts and coffee than Shipley's. But the problem is I don't know who's going to Shipley's, and I want to get their everyday customers, but they're hard to find. And if you have a business, it's hard to attract customers, find who they are, go after them, all the different channels. Do you go through Facebook? Do you try an email campaign after you even know who they are? So I thought if I just knew who they were, I'd be willing to give them, I don't know, $50 gift card, anything to get them in the door, because I know once they're in the door, they're going to stick with me. But I just need to find out who they are, who my competitors' customers are, and that's the real problem. So I found out there are actually these things called data brokers. They go out and they compile information about you and me. They put cookies on our computers. They follow us around. They'll buy up information. They'll pull public records. And they'll sell information about consumers to companies like me who are trying to find new customers. And I kind of saw some problems with this model. I talked to a lot. They range from the small time all the way up to hometown hero Axiom, who does this on a really large scale, selling to Walmart or Target or what have you. So I saw some problems with this model that I can maybe fix. Hit me, Jordan. Yeah, that's my name. One, there isn't any transaction data that these data brokers provide. They can tell you, hey, this person visited these 3 websites, and we think they may have diabetes based on this one purchase that we could have. But they can't tell me actually where they shopped, because that information is protected by banks. Secondly, it only generates leads. They tell me, hey, here's this person, this may be their email address, but good luck, now it's up to you. You invest the money, take out Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever, which is difficult for a small business, or really even any business, to invest those resources if you don't know exactly what you're doing. And finally, it's kind of an ethical gray area. You're buying information about people, they create it, it's harvested by somebody else without the consumer even knowing, and then you're using it to contact that customer. So I said, what if I just got rid of the whole data broker idea, got rid of those ethical quandaries, and just said, I'm going to go directly to the consumer and build an application, a secure application, that lets consumers anonymously share their transactions, kind of like you sign up for Mint and they pull your transactions, you sign up for Fairshare data, I pull your transactions, and then I pair you up with retailers who want to offer you really exclusive deals. So that's what I built. Yeah. So we have customers who are signing up for Fairshare data, giving me transaction data, and I have retail partners that are saying, we want to target certain people who are spending in this area. And if you deliver them to us, we'll give them deals that we wouldn't give anyone else anywhere else. So I'll show you what this looks like. We built technology that allows any user to link a debit or credit card to our account. And we pull these transactions, and we pull these into a database, and then using targeting thresholds, we can pair them with deals. So for an example, we'll go to this next slide here and take Stan, the home improvement guru. He lives out in the suburbs, and he loves working in his yard and house projects. So he spends about $1,000 a month at Lowe's for all of his different projects. And he's the bread and butter of Lowe's, the home improvement guy who's constantly going back shopping over and over again. And Home Depot wants more stands in their shop. So they say, hey, Fairshare data, let's run a campaign. Anyone spending over X amount, we'll give them 10% of their average monthly spend. and a gift card. So for Stan, if he's spending $1,000 a month, that's a $100 gift card to Home Depot. That's an offer that Stan isn't going to get anywhere else, but Home Depot is happy to give that because $100 in store credit is a small price to pay for a vetted $12,000 a year consumer. And that's not where the power of the data stops, actually. We can use location data on this next slide. So say a new Chick-fil-A franchise opens up and they want to drive some traffic, not like they'd need any help doing that. So they say, we want to find out who's regularly buying lunch in a certain area, and we'll give them 12 free meals. They can run billboard campaigns and mass market, but if they want to reach the people who are actually buying where they're shopping, this gives them the chance to do this. This is hyper-targeted and a guaranteed return on investment, which is kind of unprecedented, and it takes out the middlemen, so they're saving money, and consumers are getting deals that they can't just get by signing up for an email list, because this is vetted consumer transaction data. So one more time. So like I said, targeting based on transaction data, we can fly through this. Since I started in the ARC, we started development with the ARC, and so we're 3 months into it now, and build out the technology. We can link credit cards. It's secure. We've done white hat hacker testing of the databases, and so we're testing users now. We have 100 financial accounts linked, and we're testing in 3 different retailers. We're doing a bakery, an e-commerce website, and then a clothing boutique store, and practicing pushing deals, seeing what gets, do gift cards, do VIP programs, what deals do consumers want in return in exchange for giving over so much about themselves. Like, what is that threshold that consumers are willing to divulge that much about their personal lives? So that's what we're doing, and it's been awesome. The ARC has been incredible, and this whole ecosystem has been great to get plugged in with. So thanks for listening. I'd love to take some cool questions.
Like before, state your name and what you do.
Justin Horner, Beal Agent Guard.
Yes.
How do you guys make the money? At what point in that transactional process are you getting paid?
Right. So the idea is to make it very one-for-one vetted. So whenever a deal is actually redeemed, we actually drive a consumer into a store, then that's where we take our cut, and it'll be negotiated on a campaign basis with retailers. So similar to like taking out a Facebook or Google campaign, you pay per click, we'll pay per redemption, delivering a consumer in your store. So.
Anna Olson, I'm a leadership coach. So who are your retailers? How are you getting them, and how many do you have, and that kind of thing? So like, who are the people that we would be getting the deals from if we signed up with you?
Right. So, I mean, it's a chicken of the egg quandary. You need users before you could get anyone of size to say, you know what, I do want to use your service. So right now we're building that snowball. We're doing, we're breaking into smaller, local, regional places right now, getting proof points to take this to larger retailers. So that's the stage we're at right now, testing, showing that it works, and then once we have that, building a sales force to sell into other retailers. But ideally, big box stores with a lot of competition: Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, Target, onward and so forth. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Matthew. That was your best pitch ever.
Hardly, but I didn't bring donuts.
Well, it was good. Tell me about your team, or
Right.
the evolving nature of who you might add to your team as this moves forward.
Right. So it started off with me as kind of the engine that could, driving the CEO, pulling everything together, and then I have a co-founder who is lead analyst with DataRank, which is a data company up in Northwest Arkansas doing social listening, and then I have a financial co-founder as well. But really, we have been hitting development hard and are always interested in finding new programmers. So we're going to be expanding the development team, Ruby on Rails guys, if you know any or you are any, probably hiring 3 of those in the near future once more funding comes on. So yeah.
Cameron Coombe, Farmers Insurance.
Nice to meet you.
I have a question. So I was whenever you pulled up the screen that you said the transactions and whatnot,
Right.
are you specific as to whether it has to be a bank account or anything like that? Because I know for me personally, I pay for everything with credit card,
Mhm.
and then I pay for my credit card
Right.
out of my debit. So can you sign up with your credit card?
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, how do you face the challenge of consumers maybe not wanting you to know all that they spend and where all their money's going and how much they're spending and stuff like that?
Right. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, finding that point to where we deliver enough value to the consumer that they say, yeah, of course I'll do this. If you're familiar with Mint financial personal planning, they have given enough services that people are willing to tell them their whole financial lives. So it's finding that tipping point. What do we have to incentivize them with to say this is good for me? You know, the benefits outweigh the risks, and that's where we're trying to find proof points with right now. No problem.
Other question?
Ryan Gannett with Magna4. I had a question about these consumers that will receive gift cards and go redeem them at the business.
Right.
There's a common issue with other, I guess, value or discount-driven businesses. Getting the customers in the door and then keeping them is the difficulty. And I know with you
Right.
in Daylight Donuts, you know that, man, they come once, they'll come again, and they'll pay more the next time they come. Is that true? I mean,
Yeah, so like I've used those group discount services, Groupon, Living Social, and they're really great at driving traffic. How this is kind of differentiated, you don't know what type of traffic you're driving, because those are deal-driven consumers. They only shop with a deal. I'm interested in the people who are already spending money every day at these types of businesses, and then just getting them to switch their behavior a little bit. So whereas with a Groupon, it's someone only using deals, they won't shop there without a deal. These people are already shopping every day, and just getting them in the door somewhere else and seeing if they like it better. That's incentivizing switching behavior for a different type of consumer.
right. So I guess the behavior that's changing for them is really acknowledging these are two businesses at parity, essentially.
Right.
Does that, I guess, dissolve the brand promise of either of those businesses and basically pit them against one another to say, you guys are basically the same?
In a sense, right? So you're banking on one of the businesses thinking, I'm better at actually delivering to the consumer. Once somebody shops here, then we can retain them. So that's the sell to the business. Like, if you are better, then then the consumers will stay. If you're not, then they just won't.
Sure.
It's a consumer empowerment type tool. That's how we're seeing it.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Luke Irvin with Talent.
Hey, Luke.
So, I'm looking into the near future and what we're about to see.
Okay.
And that's same-day delivery, free shipping.
Mhm.
Do you see that as a major competitor? So when people are giving back their time and they don't have to go to these stores, what's going to happen then?
Right. So, I mean, if you in Bentonville, the atmosphere of e-commerce and the Amazon looms really, really large. So yeah, I mean that's a concern for the whole retail industry actually. But where we could actually hit really hard is restaurants and places where people buy food, and that's where we're actually seeing more traction. That's because people are eating lunch every day in a certain area. It's guaranteed money pool, and just pulling those out. So, I mean, maybe this turns into restaurant food focus because people have to eat.
Catherine Gadberry, Heifer International. As a consumer, like when you're talking about the empowerment, or like, do you filter anyway, like how I want to see the discounts I want to see, and how I only want these restaurant deals. I don't want to see, Home Depot because, or I don't
Right.
know.
Right.
How do you filter that?
Well, and we're building this right now and testing and developing, but since it's all based on transactions, we don't think you're going to see anything that is really out of the norm. I mean, if you buy one thing at Lowe's, you're not going to see a Lowe's ad coming through. And that's kind of how it works now. You visit Lowe's one time, that may be tagged to your consumer profile, and then you get all these irrelevant ads. We're setting spending thresholds, so you have to exceed a certain amount of weekly visits or dollars spent to push the ad, because we don't want to target anyone who's not relevant.
I have a question from a company to Fairshare,
Right.
if I ask, how is this going to integrate into my marketing mix? Do you tell me you can just do everything with Fairshare, or do you recommend to businesses that they incorporate this into like a full marketing campaign, or how do you address that?
For a larger company, I would definitely should be part of a broader base. So you have mass market, which is reinforcing a brand, saying Walmart, save money, live better. You plaster that everywhere, take out commercials. But then when you're directly marketing, finding the consumers you actually want to bring in the door, that's where we come in. And that's where we can deliver really targeted results. So you build your brand, and we can drive the traffic that you want.
So would you say to them that this is a one-to-one solution that replaces anything else that they currently do for one-to-one?
Possibly. I mean, if you have a large email base, maybe you shouldn't stop sending them, reinforcing emails here and there, but for specific campaigns to reach a very specific customer, we can go drill down really, really deep. So it's also really good for testing, different categories out.
Any other questions? Alrighty, we'll give it up for Matt. So Matt, I know you've been to 1 Million Cups before. I know you saw Justin. So what's the one thing that we can do as a community to help Fairshare data, and maybe it's something we can do today or in the near future? What can we do to help you?
Well, one, if I don't know what the audience cap is for Demo Day, but you should all come next Wednesday to Demo Day. It'll be a blast. Secondly, I'll be pushing out an open beta to get users onto the platform and test it on a broader scale when we roll out, probably in a month and a half, 2 months. And I'll be going through all the different channels, and Jordan or whoever will listen to tweet out. So be watching and consider helping me out by volunteering to sign up for user account, because that would really, really help.
Awesome. Give it up for me one more time.